Is there allergies in here? Can you
just let it flow, man?
It's not. I would cry on here. It's allergies.
Right. Definitely not crying at all.
I'm Josh Hour.
I'm Jared Atherton.
And we are Chapters.
A Way Back Home is the last song on the album, but it's the first song that we started working on after you got out of the hospital. And it was a fresh start for your family, but it ended up being a fresh start for us musically as well. And I'd love to just paint a little picture of what was going on when this song was written and made, and maybe you can tell some of the story. I'd love to know, like, where were you when you found out that something was wrong with your daughter?
Well, the story for me starts in Dallas, Texas. I was stuck at an airport for like 6 hours. And we knew that something was going on with Rowan. She had been sick for a couple of weeks at this point. We had taken her into a regular doctor, been sent away, taken her to urgent care, and been sent away. But I could hear it in my wife's voice. I knew it was getting worse. Something was wrong. And just sitting there in an airplane, helpless, so frustrating. I finally get home that night, and it was a terrifying night. Something, as a parent, you sit there and you look at your kid and you go, this is just not right. It's that gut feeling like, I don't know, something's wrong. We got to do something. We ended up at another ER the next morning, and this is where they finally did a chest x-ray. And from that moment on, it was go time. They shoved us in an ambulance and sent us to Children's Hospital of Orange County. And I'll never forget, this doctor came up to me right when we got there, and they had gotten the results from some of the testing they did. And he just looked at me and he said, Mr. Hour, your daughter's in heart failure. We need to act quickly. Follow me. Oh my gosh, okay. We spent 4 sleepless nights there where the doctors did everything they could medicinally to help her. But they ended up life-flighting her to Mattel Children's Hospital at UCLA. I think at that point it was like, wow, this is really happening. And that's where we lived for the next 3 months, right by her side in the ICU. We never went back home. We had close friends and family go to the house and try to pick out things that would be important to us and put it in a storage unit. But we were homeless. We didn't know how or when we would get out of there. So for me, this song is very literal in a sense and very metaphorical. It's a letter to my wife, like promising that we will get through this. Bright lights, passing time.
That first verse paints a picture.
Yeah, so where I slept at night was this little chair that pulled out to a bed, and her room was directly underneath the helipad. So anytime a helicopter would land or take off, we would feel it. And at night, the lights would shine in through the windows. And it just served as a constant reminder of the situation, of what's going on, where we're at. The original vision behind this song was for it to be really stripped down, really simple and personal. One guitar, 2 vocals, kind of Elliott Smith, I wanted to feel the uncertainty in it. And it started like that, but in typical Chapter fashion, we went ahead and did not do that.
I thought musically there's just so much to tell as well with this story. I was looking for ways to help tell some of these subtle nuances of what had just happened musically as well. And we're loud and we're going somewhere. And this story is not over. It's not just a drone of quiet defeat. It's actually a miracle. It's an incredible miracle. And there's an element of celebration as well. So I love that we actually took it somewhere, told a story with an arc to it. I just had this visualization. If it was me in your shoes at that time, I just visually am thinking of someone shuffling through a box full of photographs, but in their mind. What just happened?
Yeah.
How do I make sense of it? And what am I going to do with it? And so I was thinking, how musically could I do something that would kind of illustrate that? And so I took some sound design, some field recordings, some backwards pianos and glockenspiels and things, and all that stuff to me is the sound of thinking.
Yeah.
The sound of processing memories. There's a Radiohead song called Nude at the intro.
Jared.
Nude's got this intro with reverse strings and drums and stuff, and I've always loved that, so I'm sure somehow that came into it. At the beginning of the song, we put this kids' choir, children's choir, reinforcing that melody. And I thought, given the story, I thought that was appropriate. But I think of people rallying around, just being around a family that's hurting, that needs hope. And there's no words, there's no solutions, not trying to solve it for you. I don't know, but I'm there with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those vocals in here. Tell me about the bridge. How'd that come about?
Over the course of those 3 months, my wife's Instagram account went from friends and family to over 75,000 people following the story. People from all different walks of life, from 140 countries, places we've never heard of or can't find on a map. And they're writing in saying, hey, we're with you, we're praying alongside with you for your daughter. And they would write out these beautiful prayers. And so I found 10 or 15 of them, and I just whispered the prayers that they had written to us as a foundation of this whole segment. It felt important.
Don't stop reaching. Don't stop reaching. Don't stop reaching. Don't stop reaching. Don't know. Don't stop reaching.
These are phrases that were just rattling in my head the whole time.
Visually here, we have this phrase repeating over and over here, and then over here and over there. It's like we're inside your head for a
and
minute.
it's a total mess. You realize how fragile all of this is, how fragile life is.
Do you remember we were here at the studio and you played the song for me on the acoustic, and I told you it was terrible.
Yeah.
We moved into the other room to the piano, and we're figuring out key and tempo and all that, and ended up figuring this out. It's not complicated. It was pretty immediate. Working together, finding the right space for it.
That's all it needs.
Mm-hmm. Just lots of layers.
Yeah.
Organic sounds, electronic sounds, but
I played a lot of toms on this song.
there's a couple things happening. Here's a kit, and then there's percussion stuff. and these big, wide orchestral kind of sounds, the FX.
You're a madman.
Put it all together.
I told you I just wanted this to be one guitar and two vocals.
Exactly.
Okay, we
Exactly.
can do that. Let's just add a little bit of percussion, he says.
Yeah, intensity, drive, like I was saying earlier, just certainty.
I'm proud of where it ended up. Put it all together, and what do you got?
Oh, way back home.
That's right.
Bright lights, passing time, moments on, saying your name, face down, uncharted sound, wounded heart. Feeling the same. The distance between us won't get in between us, and no torn apart we know. Finding our way back home. Head down, sleeping sound, telephone, it was never the way. Round town is pouring down, almost hearts, but we're never the same. The distance between us will get in between us, and no torn apart, you know. Left in the silence, how lonely the night gets. Hold on through it all, you know. The distance between us will get in between us, and no torn apart, you know. Left in the silence, how lonely the night gets. Hold on through it all, you know. We're finding our way back home. Don't stop reaching. 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 Don't stop. Days and the nights spent, hear the birds, please stop. One breath and it's all over. Life on the line says, oh, we're never the same at all. Finding our way back home. Finding our way back home. The distance between us won't get in between us, and no torn apart we know. Left in silence, how lonely the night gets, and through it all you know the distance between us will get in between us, and no torn apart, you know. Left in the silence, how lonely the night gets. Hold on through it all, you know. We're finding our way back one breath and it's over. Life on the line says, oh, we're never the same at all. Finding our way back home. Oh, we're never the same at all. Finding our way back home. Finding our way back
Thanks for listening. We have a lot more of these episodes coming soon, so make sure to hit subscribe and follow. You can always find the latest information on the podcast and all of our new releases at wearechapters.com.